few years back, probably like 5 or so years back, I I went out to hike in the desert. Went on my motorcycle. Rode out to a trailhead and started started walking up the trail. And it was I think it was like springtime or something, so a lot of bugs and interesting things out. No, actually, let's see. It was like our second spring. It must be after monsoon season. Yeah, our seasons here are different. We kind of have two springs. So I think this is the second one because the prickly pear has fruit, and that only happens after monsoon season. So it's got to be later. Um, yeah. So there's this big beetle that I see. It's probably about how big it was. I don't know, taking some video of it, and I get kind of bold, and it's kind of situated back in some prickly pear. So in order to get the camera close, oh, it was with this hand I think, because this is the hand that shows up in the video, and then kind of come around and like I was gonna try to grab it just to see the little guy and then let him go. Um, well, there's a point where my finger touches it and he flies away, and that just sort of startles me. That movement from being startled, um, that jerk ends up putting my arm into the prickly pear, so that the thorns go straight into my arm, all up from here up to my thumb, just boom, into my arm, all the way up, probably 5 or 6, and these thorns are about this big, and they break off at the base pretty much instantly, and they're they're about like a hardwood, the strength of these things. So it's kind of like nails, like really sharp nails, just going into you, and then they come with you because they just break off automatically at the base. So like I pulled my hand away, and you can see in the video, there's no sound. I didn't make a sound. There's no verbal reaction, no vocal reaction. Just pull away. But by the time I stopped the video, I know full well what's happened. Right? So like my reaction is sort of on camera, even though the camera's pointing at the ground. Because this arm is full of these 2.5, 3 inch spines. And yeah, so and I have to figure out how to turn everything off and then deal with this. When I come in and deal with it, like there's a few of them I see right off. I think there were 2 in my thumb, in like the muscle here, that were maybe a quarter to a half inch in. So those were easy to pop out. And the beautiful thing about these thorns is that they're very smooth, right? So there's no barbs, there's none of that nonsense. It's very smooth, so they'll just pop right out, and there's almost no pain because they're so sharp that it almost doesn't do any damage, which I very much appreciate. I could feel it in my thumb. It was, it felt kind of like a bruise, like a bad bruise. and there was several of them up my arm. But it wasn't, there was no. It's not agonizing pain. It's not a sharp pain. It's not nothing like that. Right. So I pull these out, and I see some more, and I pull them out, and there's one that was all the way in up to the base of the spine. So I actually had to like push the skin down in order to grab it. And I thought I had them all, and I went to use my arm, and I couldn't rotate. Like I couldn't do this. Let's see. I couldn't do this because there was one more spine pinning a whole bunch of muscles together, so it couldn't move, and I didn't feel that one. So, and it was another one that was all the way into the base, so I couldn't see it either. So this one, I'm like, this was kind of the first one where I'm like freaking out a little bit because my arm won't even work unless I get it out. And I rode here on a motorcycle, so I need both arms, right? So, okay, like the other one is just kind of like push the skin in and hope that the needle doesn't go with it, that the needle holds, and the skin kind of like reveals the end, and it barely does, and I pull it out, and there you go. I can rotate my arm again. And I don't even have scars from this, which is amazing. Sometimes I can kind of feel some weird pain in this thumb pad, but it's not bad considering the stupid thing that I did and what basically happened to me. Got impaled 6 or 7 times with these giant spikes. I'll take it. I'll take it, right? So instead of hiking now, I just go back to the bike, start it up, and start going home. And then on the way home, it runs out of gas. So I have to walk it to a gas station, gas it up, and meanwhile, my arm has this weird. It's still strange. It feels strange, right? Because there's still holes through all of these muscles in my arm, and it's bleeding a little bit, but it's not bleeding all that much. Because, yeah, like I said, like the way these enter, they don't do a lot of damage. It's not like a slice, like with a knife or something like that. It's just kind of like this pinhole gets put in the tissue. It's a very strange sort of situation. Like there's kind of an achy sort of thing, and as time goes on, it gets worse because, like you're getting swelling and blood is rushing to it and trying to, because there is an injury, so all of my arm, it's kind of achy and whatever. So I'm sort of trying to rush to fill the gas tank so that I can get home because this is the throttle hand. So I definitely need this working in order to get home in a reasonable time. I guess walk home, I suppose, but I'm not interested in abandoning the bike and walking home because I'm like 5 miles from the house. Like, perfectly doable, but it's not what I want to do. Right. So, that's really all there was. There wasn't anything more adventurous than that, but yeah, here's the clip.